But one of the guys that get a lot of credit is Steve Blackman for Muscular development. I mean, those guys have done an extraordinary job for years and years and years to promote health, to promote fitness, to promote strength, to promote bodybuilding, powerlifting, weightlifting, and all of those kind of things. So the contributions they made is gigantic, and I hail them for that.
Shawn, we're here from MuscularDevelopment.com with Peter McGough and Ron Harris. We just concluded day one of the Arnold Classic here in the finals of the men's 212 fitness, figure, and women's physique. But one major upset happened here in the 212. We'll start at the bottom, work our way up. The reigning defending champion, Hidetada Yamagichi, wasn't in the conversation much, but he wound up in sixth place after getting first a year ago.
Yeah, I mean, Hide was a good winner last year, but he wasn't in that shape this time out. And I do think that maybe he was over-penalised for that, because you tend to say he wasn't as good as he was and then he drifted down. So, you know, he could have been fourth, but he wasn't the Hide of last year.
Yeah, all too often we are judged based on the bar that we raised for ourselves. A year ago, Hide was at his all-time best, held off Jose Raymond for the win. Here gets sixth place. We talked about posing. The posing didn't let him down.
No, Hide definitely pulled off a great routine as usual. But, you know, even if posing is weighed 1/3 here, the fact is with Hide, he's a different bodybuilder when he's full versus when he's flat. And at the Olympia, he was flat. He got penalized for it. Same thing happened here. He has a hard time comparing with these guys because he's really not a 212. Hide is someone that looks really good, closer to 220 or so. 212 is a struggle for him, and I think it hurts him more times than it helps him getting down to 212.
Right, and I don't want to jump over any names here. I remember the names jumping out at me. Guy Cisternino was, I believe, in fourth place. Who was in fifth? Was it Zane?
Fifth was Zane Watson. He really impressed me. He's got a really great look, great lines. His arms could be bigger. But I thought his posing routine was absolutely fabulous.
Yeah.
Sound of Silence by Disturbed. That is bodybuilding to me. That is bodybuilding.
Yeah, and he had a nice shapely physique. The arms are a little bit slight. He's got a few things to work on. And Guy Cisternino managed to leapfrog over him and take the fourth place. What was the problem with Guy?
Well, let me just say something about Zane first, because I've never seen this guy compete. I was really surprised. The shape, the symmetry, it really carried him so well. When I was looking at him by himself, I'm thinking this guy's kind of slight, needs to put on some mass. He doesn't really compare with these guys.
Right.
But then when they brought him out for the later comparisons, I said, wow, the shape and the symmetry and everything, class proportions, he really has a physique that's put together so well. And I could have seen him ahead of Guy. Sorry, Guy, no offense. As for Guy, Guy's someone I think could stand to be a little thicker. Condition was on point. Condition is what carried him today.
Right.
I made a comment in the play-by-play. His legs used to be a really strong point. They don't seem to be anymore. I don't know if Guy's physique is getting a little tired. Maybe he needs a little rest, because I've seen him thicker and fuller, and that's a better look for him. But overall, fourth place in this lineup for him was really good.
Not bad. And Zane in any other lineup might have walked away with the title. But Guy did look like he was fading a little bit, and there's some issues. I don't know, is it age? Because with Hidetada Yamagichi, I mean, at some point the athletes have to reconsider where they're going to go. What's the exit strategy? Is Hide at that point where maybe he should be finding a way off the stage? Because it's got to be 40.
Yeah, I mean, he's been around quite a time, and when he first came into the pros, the first time I ever saw him at the Ironman, which was some years ago, I thought, this guy's not a pro.
Yeah.
And he made such great advances. He's had a great career. He's settled now in Vegas. You know, maybe we're writing him off too soon because he's got a warrior spirit. My bet is he'll come back.
Yeah, and well, come back, he's going to have to go through a few other guys. One guy that's been there time and time again, Jose Raymond. My play-by-play, I mentioned that he was getting a little bit too blocky in the stomach. He's lost control of his stomach, especially in between the poses, which continually drew my eye to the midsection. That being said, the arms, chest, the shoulders, they're standard material, but the legs didn't have the definition in them. And I actually thought, they were really nice to him in that third place.
Yeah, I thought he sharpened up a little bit from this afternoon. It still wasn't enough. When he's gnarly and dry and grainy, has that look to him, he does a little bit better. It was just a tough show. Top two guys tonight were just phenomenal. Jose obviously has won in many other shows. This just was a tough call for him. And like you said, yeah, the blockiness can hurt him at times. He's got a very powerful, Herculean type of physique. And when he's on point, sometimes that's enough.
Yeah, it looks like he couldn't put another ounce on the frame, and it was just like maxed out.
Yeah, I mean, he struggled a bit last year, didn't he? I think that he was up against two guys that were more on than him, and that's the end of the story.
Yeah, and speaking of two guys, David Henry, I mean, holy crap. We're talking about Hidetada maybe getting out at a certain age, but David Henry, I believe, might even be older. Yeah. This is the original 202-pound Olympia champion, won the New York Pro 202 as well. He's got a slew of titles under his belt, arguably the best back in bodybuilding, bar none. Forget about the weight class. Some of the best arms, really thick, gnarly abs. Second place. Did you have him win it, or did you have him in second place?
I thought it could have gone either way. He has a lot of things that Ahmad doesn't have. He's got a pretty bubbly, round muscle that Ahmad doesn't have. His overall shape is prettier. You know, it could have gone either way. I think a lot of people would have been very happy to see Henry win. Ahmad was a good winner too, but personally, I probably would have gone with Henry.
Yeah, and I probably would have slammed the door if Henry's legs had been up to snuff with the upper body. That's the knock on David Henry. As he's aged, the legs have gotten a little slight. It looked like the left leg was even thinner than the right leg. But symmetrically standing there, when he hits the poses, he looks very good. But like we talked about Lionel Bayeki, a little slight in the hamstrings and the legs. I mean, Ashkenani I think that's where Ashkenani won that one.
I mean, to me, David is the Phil Heath of the 212s. Yes. He's got that 3D look. Mm-hmm. And when you went through the comparisons, maybe, it was tit for tat. But I think with the most muscular and the abs and thighs, it was David all the way home. Ahmed's a great bodybuilder, and everybody's saying it's close. I personally didn't see it as close. I think a guy with that sort of roundish muscle, Shawn Ray type of muscle, shape and symmetry, should win bloody bodybuilding contests.
Yeah. You know what? I would not have been upset if David Henry had won. I like Ashkenani Ahmad. He's a breath of fresh air. I watched him win over there in Australia. He's the victor here tonight. We didn't hear a bunch of chorus of boos. However, I think David Henry was the sentimental favorite to win this show. But now we got to get beyond that. If David had the legs, it would have been a slam dunk competition. Where does Ashkenani go now? I mean, James Flex Lewis has got to be in his sights.
Yeah, from the side, Ashkenani's legs are phenomenal. It's crazy how when he's facing front, those quads are, to me, my eyes are always drawn to his quads. I'm like, this guy needs more quads. He's talking about doing the New York Pro, winning that, and then shutting it down for the Olympia. Personally, I think the better strategy, and he's not going to listen to me, obviously, right, would be shut it down now, get those legs up to standard, because you're not beating Flex Lewis unless you have some really good quads.
Right. We got a good look at a 212 lineup, but Flex Lewis seems to be on another level. Did this guy look like he might be a potential threat? I mean, I know David Henry's Mr. Consistency, but is he going to close the gap on Flex?
No, he's still a work in progress.
He's not a young guy.
Well, yeah, but I think he's 32, something like that. But, like you say, I mean, weak body part, it's not a weak body part, but it's bringing his legs up to scratch. That's going to take long, hard work. You can't do that in 3 months and then start dieting again.
Right.
So, and let's be honest, I mean, that's Lewis's calling card, the legs. That's going to really throw things in sharp relief.
Yeah, well, I'm with Ron Harris here. If I'm Ashkenani, I take this victory, shut it down, work on those legs, do what you got to do, and in June, resurface and start bringing that back down. Tomorrow is the big day. Tonight we wrap things up. We saw Candace Lewis walk off with the Pro Figure Championship, along with the physique. We got the physique lady that won that? Nobody?
Women's physique. Daniele from Brazil. Castillo.
Yes.
Castillo, yeah.
Brazil doing very well here tonight. And we saw was those the one?
Autumn did not. I believe she was third.
Was there another division?
Winner. Yeah, we also had Oksana Grishina.
Did Oksana pull that off?
She easily pulled that off. That was probably the most clear-cut victory that we've seen all so far this weekend.
Yeah, well, once again, Oksana Grishina, whenever you think about a competition, she's got to be the winner. But, it's been a long day. We had prejudging today. We have finals tonight. Tomorrow we wake up and we do it all over again, and we're going to bring in the men's pro, along with the women in the bikinis, and a whole lot more paparazzi and a lot more photographs and interviews with everybody here at Muscular Development. But for right now, here in Columbus, Ron Harris and Peter McGough, I'm Shawn Ray.